The tracks lead into the water. Where'd he go from here?
Fucking hell, man. Halloween is here, and for some reason I've decided to spend it on the one genre I hate the most, horror games. This episode's little special. It's not just a spooky one-off, it's a full double feature. I'm going through the entire Alan Wake franchise. Somehow I completely missed these games, which is weird because I Platinum Control back in the day, and I recently finished 100%ing FBC Firebreak. So it's time to fix this hole in the Remedyverse and finally play Alan Wake and Alan Wake 2. But first, a word from today's sponsor, Name Not Found 404. He is, at the moment, the only member of this channel. He gives me $5 a month to continue producing what can be barely legally described as content, and on top of that he literally bought me Alan Wake 2 so I can enjoy the franchise for free, because the first part was from PlayStation Plus. I guess I can consider myself a successful YouTuber now. Time to quit my job, I guess. So, massive thanks to Name Not Found 404. Now let's step into the dark and regret our life choices together. We open up with a nightmare that also works as the tutorial. Alan is being hunted through the dark by a guy with a fire axe who will not chill. So the only real strategy at first is to run. Then the sky opens up and a literal god says,
"Hey King, here's a gun."
and drops a revolver and a flashlight combo out of heaven. Now we can finally stop screaming and start shooting. Finishing this section pops out first two trophies, one for clearing the tutorial and one for dodging an enemy swing with style. Jesus! We wake up from nightmare and pull into Bright Falls. Alan Wake is a famous writer with a very public case of creative burnout, so he and his wife Alice come here for a quiet, therapeutic getaway, so to speak. Immediately, Alan breaks horror rule number 754, do not accept keys to an isolated cabin from a creepy old woman standing alone in a dark hallway next to the diner bathroom. We take the keys, head to the rental cabin, the power's out, we flip the lights back on, and then it all goes bad. Oh, it's the last... Let there be light. Alice gets yanked into the lake by some shadowy thing, Alan does the heroic husband thing and dives in after her. And then, smash cut. Alan wakes up in a wrecked car in the middle of the woods with zero idea how he got there. We progress through the area and defeat our first boss, if you can call it that, and also manage to make a phone call to end the first chapter.
Previously on Alan Wake.
Bright Falls finest. You finally managed to make the phone call. Episode 2 starts and we finally meet Barry, Alan's agent/manager. He's easily one of the funniest characters in the game, which, to be fair, isn't hard because literally no one else here is trying to be funny. Because Thor and Odin are just, well, legally insane. We actually rent a normal cabin this time, like normal people, but the darkness shows up again and possesses Rusty. We have to slow Rusty down to a full stop to defeat him. Get it? Because he's fast and Alan is a writer, so full stop? No? Okay, fine. During all this, I start racking up gameplay trophies, finding 5 hidden chests, finders keepers, pushing enemies back with a flare, dodging enemy attacks 20 times, missed by a mile, collecting 25 manuscript pages, paging Mr. Wake, collecting 25 coffee thermoses, deleting 4 taken at once with a single signal flare. Come on. Alright. And of course cosplaying the world's sanest GTA player. Quick note while we're here, this game is drowning in collectibles. We're talking 100 coffee thermoses, 106 manuscript pages, radio broadcasts, TV shows, hidden chests, can pyramids, you name it. It's the same energy as Geralt stopping to play Gwent while Ciri is actively being chased by the Wild Hunt, except here it's Alan walking off in the middle of rescuing his kidnapped wife because he saw something that looks remotely like a thermos in the bushes. Then we get to the most rage-inducing section in the game so far. We have to burn off the darkness shield on enemies so that the kidnapper can shoot them, because we don't have any weapons on us. And man, let me tell you, this guy won't probably be able to hit Jabba the Hutt from 5 meters away, let alone a running Taken. So yeah, it took me a couple of tries. Fucking hell, man, like what the fuck is happening? We make it through the night, barely. Alright.
Previously on Alan Wake.
And then things get even worse. Alan gets a call from a person who claimed to have kidnapped Alice. They say they'll give her back, but only if he hands over the manuscript he supposedly wrote. Small problem, Alan doesn't remember writing anything. Bigger problem, according to everyone else, he's been missing for a full week since Alice disappeared. He has no memory of the entire gap. So now we've got missing wife, ransom note for a book he doesn't remember writing, and 2 days to deliver it. We get a call from Rose, Alan's biggest fan and the waitress from the diner, saying she has the manuscript Alan wrote, so we go to meet her. Except when we get there, it's obvious something is wrong. Rose is acting like she's been suffering from a heavy case of NPC syndrome.
Welcome oh dear, Mr. Wake.
She serves us coffee, we drink it and boom, drugged. We black out and it's suddenly night again. From here it's chaos. We're fleeing from the police, blasting 4 Taken at once with a single flashback to get an achievement, knocking down 5 canned pyramids for science, and casually destroying a possessed bulldozer, which is exactly as cool as it sounds. From this moment, the darkness decides it's done playing fair and starts possessing literally everything: metal scrap, refrigerators, entire pieces of construction equipment, all of it flying at our head. Also a train, a whole train. Sure, totally fine. By the end of the chapter, we've also hit 100 Taken killed with just a revolver, so that's another achievement. After this section, chapter 3 ends, so we get an achievement and are ready to go further.
Previously on Alan Wake.
Chapter 4 is probably my least favorite one, because it takes about 5 business days just to get through the intro section where you're stuck walking around a mental clinic with Dr. Hartman and listening to him talk. While we're here, we watch a TV in one of the patient rooms and unlock BoobTube. I have no idea why this specific Night Springs episode gives an achievement, but fine, I'll take it. We keep moving through the asylum grounds and at some point I pop energized for swapping flashlight batteries 100 times. And then we get to one of the most annoying combat holds in the game. You have to defend yourself while Barry is looking for the gate keys. During that section I unlocked the achievement for killing 50 Taken with the flare gun. And to be honest, this section is not that bad on normal, but it's a nightmare on, well, nightmare. After that escape, we make it to the Anderson brothers farm. The farm sequence is easily top tier. You end up on full rock concert stage setup under spotlights with music blasting, while hordes of Taken rush you non-stop. While holding the stage I unlock Thunder and Lightning for defeating 50 Taken with flashbangs, and Child of the Elder God for clearing the whole section.
That was awesome!
Couple of Taken also get electrocuted closer to the end of the chapter and we get collateral carnage. After the concert, in the last stretch of the chapter, we also tune in the final radio broadcast in the game and get KBF FM.
As you regular listeners know, I tend to work through the night.
Alan and Barry figure out they need to track down someone called the Lady of the Light, then they drink moonshine, get absolutely destroyed, and Alan has a weird prophetic vision. That's where chapter 4 ends.
Previously on Alan Wake.
And
FBI agent Nightingale, who's been hunting Alan the whole game, finds him and Barry absolutely wasted at the Anderson farm and arrests them. That of course doesn't last too long. The darkness literally drags Nightingale away in front of everyone, including Sarah Breaker, the Bright Falls sheriff. She decides, reasonably, that Alan is suddenly not her main problem, releases us and tells us that the Lady of the Light is almost certainly Cynthia Weaver, who lives in the abandoned power plant. We move through the Bright Falls, which is now fully corrupted by darkness, and on the way we stop by the Oh Dear Diner. We play the Put the Lime in the Coconut on the jukebox again and get the achievement for it.
The same thing I think happened to me after I arrived.
Well, priorities. Combat-wise, I also take out 2 shadow enemies with a single shotgun blast for 2 for the price of 1. Can I try? Yeah, here you go. And not long after that, I unlock the achievement for killing 50 Taken with the shotgun. We eventually find Cynthia and she agrees to take us to the Clicker, a mysterious artifact that can literally rewrite reality, but first we have to help her with the floodgates. That section is a short run where we solve the floodgate puzzle and get an achievement for it. There will be a lot of guys on our way back, right? Okay. We also realize Barry and Sarah are in danger, so we break off to rescue them, then regroup with Cynthia and finally obtain the Clicker. That closes up the chapter.
Previously on Alan Wake.
From here, Alan decides it's time to save Alice. Now that he has the Clicker, the plan is simple. Go back to Birdlag Cabin, the place where everything started, and fix it. The problem is that Birdlag Cabin doesn't fully exist in normal reality anymore, and the darkness is stronger than ever, so getting there is not exactly a casual walk. We push through a quick flashback and unlock the final TV show to get Couch Potato. By the time we reach the junkyard, we also examine the last readable sign in the game and unlock Bright Falls Aficionado. At this point I also get the achievement for killing 1000 darkness birds. And I honestly expected that to pop in a second playthrough, but apparently I have been committing bird genocide the entire game without noticing. Since this is the final episode, we can finish off most of the collectible achievements. We open the last hidden chest. We collect every manuscript page that is available on normal difficulty. And yes, there's extra pages that only show up on nightmare mode, so full completion requires that run too. And finally, in literally the final Taken fight of the entire game, I managed to unlock Taken Season by killing 50 Taken with the hunting rifle. Finally, we reach the final boss, which is less a boss and more a platforming sequence in the dark place. I proceed to embarrass myself on this section longer than I'll admit, but we get through it. Bro, like, what the fuck? We finish the game, Alan uses the Clicker, destroys the dark presence, rewrites everything to free Alice, and then he ends up trapped in the dark place himself. So yeah, Alice is out, Alan is not.
It's not a lake. It's an ocean.
And we actually get 3 achievements for this. 1 for defeating the dark presence, and 2 more for defeating the game on normal and by extension on easy. We still need a nightmare run to scoop up the remaining manuscript pages and the achievement for finishing the game on nightmare itself. Before that, quick cleanup of the stuff I missed. First, I listened to all of the Hartman's recordings in chapter 4 for medical opinions. Then I tackled Meet the Deadline, which requires you to reach Cauldron Lake from the Mine Museum in chapter 3 in under 30 minutes. It's not bad once you learn a few speedrun strats and sprint between safe havens, skipping fights whenever possible.
I could see Cauldron Lake.
Next up, chapter 5's Don't Die for basically half the chapter challenge. This one can be quite rough. There is a nasty Taken fight outside the church and an even nastier one before the helicopter. But pro tip from Alan Wake speedruns that I picked up: if you leave a single big Taken alive from the first wave and kite him around the police car, the later waves won't spawn. Since that section is timed, you just have to keep him busy for a couple of minutes until Sarah spins up the helicopter. Much safer and almost guaranteed you will survive that. Finally, the coffee thermoses. I was missing 2 out of 100 when I finished the game on normal, and I dreaded this because there is no chapter by chapter tracker, which means potentially rechecking the whole game. Luckily, it turned out I missed one thermos in the opening nightmare and another right after the first boss in chapter 1. Crisis averted, thank God. Alright, cleanup done and only 3 achievements are left. Get all manuscript pages on Nightmare, finish episode 6 without firing a single bullet, and beat the whole game on Nightmare difficulty. And I decided to do all that in one run. Yes, on Nightmare, in one go. Speedrun strats help a lot here. I didn't of course learn every skip, but I used a few important ones. In episode 5 there's a nice skip where you can just hop a fence instead of doing the long roof section and dealing with the bird swarm. I also reused the helicopter fight skip by leaving one Taken alive, kite him around and basically shut down the entire encounter. That alone saves a ridiculous amount of ammo and healing. And in general, even on Nightmare, the game gives you just enough batteries, flares and ammo to survive without having to crawl through every corner of every map like a raccoon. Episode 6 without firing a gun on Nightmare sounds pretty bad, but the achievement only bans firearms. Flares and flashbangs are still allowed, and this chapter hands them out like candy. The main tip from me here is to open every hidden stash. I think there are like 5 or 6 hidden stashes in chapter 6. They are loaded with flashbangs, and flashbangs are basically delete buttons. Right before the final section, we grab the last Nightmare only manuscript page for collector's edition. Then we reach the final area without ever shooting, which gives us Gunless Wonder. We beat the game on Nightmare and unlock Alan Wake Up and the Platinum Trophy. I also played both DLCs, The Signal and The Writer, mainly for the story and picked up most of the achievements there. I didn't do the no death runs yet, so if you want to see me suffer through that, leave a comment under the video and I'll probably even stream the attempts. Anyway, Alan Wake 1 is honestly way better than I expected from a game that's basically 15 years old. It's very much a product of its time, the platforming is clunky, some encounters feel a bit PS3 era jank, but the narrative is strong. The pacing, the structure, the gameplay, all of it had me locked in from minute 1. So let's not drag it out, we're fast traveling straight to 2023 to Alan Wake 2.
Good evening. Night Springs.
Okay, guys, I don't know what's happening, but to be completely honest, I'm not sure I'm alone here anymore, and something is watching, and oh no, flashbang, bright falls, cooking these bitches like Cauldron, Black Crane, night crawls, you are the part of the problem. Yeah, under the shine of the full moon, we're running and hiding from monsoon. Dark winds possessing the hoodlum, sucking me deep into vacuum. Give it or take it, this is the part of the story, bro. So really you don't have to worry, bro. Your demise predetermined, so don't give me that shit. I'm dodging this like I live in slow motion. This is not a loop, it's ascending in motion. We're back to the start. It's not a lake, it's an ocean. Flashbang, bright falls, cooking these bitches like Cauldron, Black Crane, night crawls, you are the part of the problem. Night springs, white walls, running in loops, it's the author's fate. Last stand, fight calls, you're about to witness how darkness breaks. Voices surround me, story I'm writing haunts me in silence. Turns ignites me, this is a new saga with thunder and lightning. Multiple vicious circles, interlope, I'm suing my eyelids. There's blood on the vinyl, it produces singing of sirens. This is not place for the weary. I ascend and have faith in the theory that everything changes in loop after loop after loop. Reconstruct new beginnings, it's a disease and it's going viral. Look in the mirror, confront the rival. Numerous cycles are dead on arrival. It's not a loop, it's a spiral. Flashbang, bright falls, cooking these bitches like Cauldron, Black Crane, night crawls, you are the part of the problem. Night springs, white walls, running in loops, it's the author's fate. Last stand, fight calls, you're about to witness how darkness breaks. Alan Wake 2 opens hard. A naked guy crawls out of a swamp, immediately gets murdered by some masked cult weirdos, and we unlock hunting season. Then we cut to Saga Anderson, an FBI agent arriving in Bright Falls with her partner, Alex Casey. Yes, that Alex Casey. Basically Max Payne wearing Sam Lake's face, who's also the detective from Alan Wake's in-universe crime novels. Subtle for having Max Payne copyright in Rockstar, right? We grab a map of the area and get Nightmare Territory achievement, and then start working the case. The victim looks like he was dead before he was killed, his heart was removed, and every single part of the scene is disgusting. While moving around the woods, we can start grabbing early collectibles. Locked cult boxes that make you solve a little riddle or a combination to open, which usually contains some useful resources, and lunch boxes, which are tucked in bushes and give resources for weapon upgrades. Yep. Okay. We'll also pick up a manuscript page for an achievement. Unlike Alan Wake 1, there is no achievements for getting all manuscript pages in Alan Wake 2. Shame?
Shame. Shame.
Someone's been watching us.
After finishing the initial investigation, we upgrade one of our weapons for an achievement. Another headshot, definitely not for me. Let's do...
Saga had lost count of how many shots she'd fired.
Then we go back to check the body in the morgue, and it goes full House of the Dead. The corpse wakes up and attacks us. We kill it, survive our first real fight, clearing that sequence finishes the first chapter and gives us the achievement. Okay. Once the opening/tutorial section is out of the way, we head back to Cauldron Lake to investigate further and start stacking achievements. First, we restore power in the witch's hut and unlock our first break room. Okay, very good. Basically a save room where you can save and manage gear. We also run into our first proper Taken style enemy, break a darkness shield for an achievement, and use a healing item for another one. Felt good. In that same area we found our first inventory upgrade and then solve a small lock riddle to get the sawed-off shotgun. Boomstick.
This is my boomstick!
In the next combat encounter, I also managed to destroy a source point, which is that red glowing weak spot that can appear on an enemy after you strip its darkness shield. If you shoot it, it deals huge damage and stuns them. Unfortunately, those weak spots spawn on their backs like 80% of the time, so I'm not sure how you're supposed to hit that, but okay. Eventually we enter the overlap, a looping, distorted space where the boss is waiting. The boss turns out to be Agent Nightingale. Yes, FBI Nightingale. Would not have recognized him unless the game told me. I was playing on hard, so fight took a few tries, but eventually he goes down. Beating him gives us the Lawman achievement. Fuck you, man. Oh god. I had my butthole clenched like the whole time, it fucking hurts now. And we also unlock Into the Overlap for clearing the chapter. Here you go. Awesome. After the fight, we find Alan Wake washed up on the shore, but instead of following the obvious story prompt like a responsible agent, I decide to wander around Cauldron Lake because more of the area opens up after the boss. While exploring, we run into a new collectible type, nursery rhyme puzzles. These are part of some weird FBC experiment around Bright Falls. You match dolls to parts of a creepy children's rhyme, solve it, and in return you get a charm. Charms are passive buffs you can equip on Saga's charm bracelet, damage resist, healing bonuses, that kind of thing. After we fill all the 3 charm slots, we get an achievement for that as well. While I'm doing all this very calmly and definitely not looking at the map in a full sense of safety, I get jumped. Full screamer ambush, to be honest. I panic, show a flare in the Taken's face, and in the process unlock 2 more achievements: Escape its gravity and Shining in the Night, for stunning and dealing with the attacker using a flare. We switch over to Alan's side of the story and he finally starts telling his version of events. Alan is trapped in the warped New York version of reality and he is in a late night talk show that is being hosted like some surreal nightmare. It's short, mostly scripted, and serves to establish that Alan is not free, he is stuck somewhere else, writing his way out. Once we're out in the Dark Place version of New York, we run into Alex Casey, not Saga's partner, but the fictional detective from Alan's crime novels. Or maybe they are the same person. Or maybe it doesn't really matter because reality doesn't really matter anymore. We grab a revolver and a flashlight, which gives us an achievement. Then we head into the subway. This section is basically Alan walking through shifting scenes while reality keeps rewriting itself in real time. You change the setup of an area and the world reconfigures to match the new draft. Cult stuff, crime scene stuff, things that shouldn't be there. This dream logic investigation through dark New York is easily the best part of the game. While moving through the tunnels, we also find a word of power, and words of power are essentially upgrade nodes for Alan.
A phrase repeated over and over.
We also pick up an achievement for landing 5 headshot kills. By the end of the sequence, after piecing together a very nasty cult murder in the subway, we outrun the dark presence and bail out of there. Clearing that part gives us Storm Cloud
Presence. I'd seen it before.
and New York City chapter completion achievement. After a short cutscene, the game forces a perspective swap and we unlock Return and the other sides just for switching between Alan and Saga. It's automatic, so it's funny there is an achievement for it. Then again, Alan Wake has 67 achievements in the base game, which is one of the highest counts I've ever seen in a single non-live service release. That's not even counting the DLC, which pushes the total to 89. This game hands out achievements like business cards, I tell you that. Anyway, as Saga, we head to Watery, a neighboring town. Everyone there acts like they've known Saga for years. They also keep insisting her daughter is dead, drowned a long time ago in a lake. Saga obviously disagrees with that version of reality, so we start digging. To keep investigating, we have to reach Saga's supposed trailer where she lived a long time ago, but it's locked behind the local horror show, a rundown amusement park. This section is easily the scariest part of the entire game. While moving through it, we unlock Stop the Monster for interrupting a fast Taken type enemy, pick up the crossbow and solve 5 nursery rhyme puzzles. Well, I'm sorry. Greatest hits.
Makes sense.
Doesn't make sense to me, but okay. While exploring the park, we also shoot one of the cardboard cutouts for another achievement. There's an achievement for shooting any of the cardboard boxes. Jesus. Sorry. And eventually, we fight what is basically a mini-boss and get a screwdriver.
This should get that gift shop open.
From this point, we can open padlocked doors by breaking the locks manually, which opens up more of the map. We keep advancing and enter another overlap. This time the fight is against Mulligan and Thornton. No, I mean, yeah, the suspense, the atmosphere is awesome, but it just kind of drags for too long. And now they're gonna throw like a fucking cheap jump scare at me, so I shit my pants, and this is how we die. The fight is not that bad, but I still die once. That actually triggers the coffee mug charm, which gives you a free revive and also unlocks an achievement for using it. Fucking hell. We finish them off, which gives the Bright Falls Finest achievement. Ah, okay. And then we wrap the chapter up and get back in Watery for completion. Easier than I thought it was. Back in Watery. Nice. Before leaving, I decided to clear out the rest of Watery region of all of its collectibles. I get the achievement for killing an enemy with a single crossbow shot, and I pick up most of the remaining collectibles in the area. After that, we're done with Saga for a brief moment, and the game switches us back to Alan, where we see the Bright Falls Lodge being attacked by the cult. By the end of it, Alan is pulled out and saved from the cult. Then the FBC shows up, takes over the investigation, and basically tells Saga she's off the case and needs to go home. In the next chapter, Saga goes to visit her grandfather and grand-uncle Thor and Odin, two people she has literally never heard of before coming to Bright Falls. We head to Valhalla nursing home, and this is probably my favorite Saga chapter. I dump all upgrade materials I have into the crossbow and fully upgrade it, which gives an achievement. And just in case, this achievement is basically unmissable in theory, but you can miss it in practice. There are not enough upgrade scraps in a single playthrough to fully upgrade every weapon. If you spread the scraps across multiple guns, you can lock yourself out of it. So the safest play is max out one weapon early.
Saga strained to pull this.
We also get the hunting rifle in this chapter. Eventually we enter a new overlap at the pond behind the nursing home, and the boss there is a taken version of Cynthia Weaver. Seeing her corrupted honestly sucks. She was the Lady of the Light in the first game after all, so yeah, poor granny. Inside that overlap we also find the bolt cutters, and from this point you can break any chained lock and basically access every blocked off area in the game, which opens up cleanup for collectibles. We beat Cynthia, finish the overlap and unlock Girl in Love and the Old Gods for clearing the chapter. So at this point we basically have full access to every zone in the game, so I start doing cleanup and finishing most of the collectible related achievements. On the way I pull off a perfect last second dodge, which actually triggers a critical dodge that stuns an enemy and gives an achievement. I also kill an enemy with a signal flare explosion for another one. Yeah, fuck these wolf enemies, man, they are annoying as hell. With the bolt cutters we can finally break into the rental cabins in Cauldron Lake. Inside we pick up the last missing nursery rhyme doll. And that leads us to the final nursery rhyme location at the Witchfinder cabin, naturally on the opposite end of the map, where we also meet the guy over the radio who's been doing these creepy experiments, and solving the last rhyme gives us shift in reality. And while doing all the traversal, I also stun enemies using a flashbang for another achievement. With collectibles done, we head to the Bright Falls Sheriff Station, and it's overrun by Taken. We grab the pump-action shotgun from the sheriff's office and unlock...
I'm sure Sheriff Braco wouldn't mind me borrowing this.
We also find the final cult stash in the evidence room. Then we finally reach Alan, except it's not Alan, it's Mr. Scratch, Alan's Dark Place doppelganger. We fight him, beat him and unlock Seeing Double. Before pushing the story forward, I take a detour to Watery, because, you know, priorities, so we can go and pet Mayor Setter, who is a dog and also literally the mayor, probably. That gives us one of the last charms we need, which finishes off two more achievements, the Nice Things in Life and Rustic Charm.
Oh! In Bright Falls years ago? Hello, Mayor Setter.
Famous writers. Ugh, they're all bad luck if you ask me.
After that, Saga figures out how to bring the real Alan back. We prepare a ritual, and it all leads into another music-driven combat sequence, basically a set-place fight on the beach with a soundtrack blasting, similar energy to the farm stage from Alan Wake 1. We do the ritual, it fails, or maybe it doesn't. Well, for now it's open to interpretation. Either way, the perspective snaps back to Alan in the Dark Place. Or at least someone who looks like Alan in the Dark Place. Is it actually him? I mean, at this point, I'm not even sure who is who. So from here on, and I quote the classic here, time is convoluted. Starting this next Alan segment, I randomly unlock Yippee-Ki-Yay for obtaining the double-barreled shotgun. I do not actually have a double-barreled shotgun on Alan at this point, but the game decides I do. So, sure, free achievement. We move through the musical chapter, which is basically a fully staged, scripted set-piece fight with synchronized music and visuals. It's easily one of the best sequences in the entire game. Near the end of the section, we pick up a flare gun, which unlocks Lights Shining, and a moment later we wrap the whole sequence and get All His Life for completing the chapter. We reach the Ocean View Hotel, and on the way we finally unlock the real shotgun for Alan. That completes both weapon sets and give us all accounted for collecting every weapon across both characters. Inside the hotel, we piece together another murder scenario. It mirrors the Valhalla nursing home investigation from Saga's side, but now we're seeing it through Alan's warped dark place logic. Finishing that thread gives us in a fancy hotel achievement. The next chapter moved quite fast. After a cutscene where Alan realizes that Alice couldn't keep living under Mr. Scratch stalking her for years, he snaps, storms in the writer's room to kill Scratch, and then realizes he already did that, and that he was on both ends of the gun. The game is basically saying Alan and Scratch are the same entity, or two states of the same person, or two narrative versions fighting for control. You figure it out yourself. After that, we get another chapter built around escaping the late night show studio, and during the escape we also grab Alice's photos on the way out. We run into Thomas Zane, or something wearing Thomas Zane's face, because it's clearly not the real one, because the actual Zane is supposed to be like this deep sea diver suit made of light type of character, and this version feels altered by Dark Place, like a corrupted copy or something. From there we move into the next murder reconstruction sequence, this time in a movie theater. We push through it and unlock the final writer's journey video in the very end, which gives us an achievement. Finishing that entire thread gives us the Cult of the Word for clearing the chapter, and when we reach the Alan's apartment afterwards, we also earn his way out. Back to Saga, and the FBC try to trap Mr. Scratch by luring him into a containment cell. This obviously doesn't go the way it's supposed to. The Dark Present leaves Alan's body, but instead of being contained, it jumps straight into Alex Casey. Saga is thrown into the Dark Place, and we switch back to Alan, who finds himself in an alternate Bright Falls where it's permanent Deerfest and everyone worships him for his new bestseller, Return. The problem is, Return was written by Scratch, not Alan, and everyone is acting like a cult fanbase. During this sequence we can also find the last Koskela Brothers commercial, and to be honest, all of those are incredible, but let me show you my most favorite one.
I've heard the government has seized and restricted access to many local nature attractions. That is true, Yanko. Many local attractions have recently become fenced off by the government. And that's why, at Koskela Brothers Adventure Tours, we say, fuck the government. We have both cutters. Oh, wow.
Alan manages to escape Eternal Deerfest with the book and ends up back in the writer's room. He decides to change the ending and try to save everyone.
This would not work without the clicker.
Meanwhile, Saga is trapped in the Dark Place, and she pushes through it, overcomes the whole "your daughter is dead, you're a bad mother, you're a bad detective, you're a bad human being" mental attack, and enters dark New York. There she finds the shoebox Alan left behind, and inside are Alice's photos, which transform into two key items, a clicker and a literal bullet of light. Saga reaches the writer's room, and she and Alan build the ending of the story together. Saga uses the clicker to drive the darkness out of Casey and back into Alan, and then uses the bullet of light to finish it. We hit the ending, deliberately vague, deliberately unsure who actually made it out and in what state.
Over. Anderson.
And the game hands us the story comes true, and finally Sisu, the Platinum Trophy. After the first part of the credits, we get one more hit. Alice didn't actually end her own life. Instead, we see that she jumped into Cauldron Lake to try and pull Alan out of the Dark Place. The bullet of light you use at the end comes from her point of view. It's literally her interpretation of Alan's selfless choice back in the first game when he jumped in the water 13 years ago. She tells Alan that they're closer now, that this wasn't the final version and that they need to try again. Alan wakes up in the writer's room yet again and drops the line,
It's not a loop. It's a spiral.
and that line hit so hard I was actually clapping at my monitor like a freaking circus seal. And yeah, I know there's an extended ending in New Game Plus, but honestly I think that ending is much worse. It's more straightforward, like everything is fine, wrap up, and that just doesn't feel right compared to the original ending. The base ending is colder, more ambiguous, and way more in line with Alan Wake as a series, in my opinion, and it actually perfectly sets up part 3. So everyone saying they didn't like the original ending, I just don't get you guys. Whew! Both Alan Wakes done. At this point I'm fully in on the Remedy-verse. I'm a fan now, no qualifiers. Each game is a perfect snapshot of its own generation. Alan Wake 1 is pure 2010 energy in the best way, Alan Wake 2 is modern and unhinged. You can also see my final rankings on the screen. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, consider subscribing and leaving a comment. It actually really means a lot. Happy Halloween, and remember, in the end, it's not about the trophies. It's about having fun. But also about the trophies a little bit.
Flashbang, bright